Welcome to the Foul Out Podcast. Today we got Shaq on the cam, my brother Arkeem, and myself today. And we just gonna jump straight into it, man. One of the hottest topics out there right now. Facebook, aka Meta, AntiTrust lawsuit. And basically what I want to give y'all the information is all that cronyism that we saw Mark Zuckerberg doing when he was trying to join the Trump train, and he stopped fact checking on Facebook and just became right wing overnight like that. He really was just doing that so that he could get in good with Trump, and hopefully Trump would dismiss the case. But now Trump said, "Forget you. I'm not helping you." And now Facebook is, in a lawsuit in which they might have to sell Instagram and WhatsApp. So how would y'all feel about that? Are y'all like for or against it? Y'all think Facebook should be broken up?
No. I personally don't think that they should be broken up. What's the backstory? Like why is he being prosecuted for this?
Yeah, so basically when Facebook bought Instagram, they thought that was kind of like a monopoly move, like antitrust. And then it's text messages that came out between Mark Zuckerberg and like one of his top investors, and he was saying, we gonna either have to buy them or they might become a competitor or something like that. So, anti-competitive moves, that's like monopoly stuff. So that's why they like own him about it.
I feel like it's kind of not fair because it's a successful company, and that's why that's why they're in trouble. That's why they're in the hot seat. If it flopped, then they wouldn't be. This wouldn't even be an issue. Like they could own both of them. But personally, I don't really think that it does us any good to separate the two companies out. I mean, what's that going to change? There's still going to be these uber popular platforms that people are going to use. It's just going to be another billionaire in charge of it. Like it's always going to say the same, just a different person getting the checks.
Yeah,
And what's
man.
up with the government going after social media so much now? Like what is this about? I mean, first they after TikTok, now they after Zuckerberg. Personally, I think that they want to go after Zuckerberg. I think because Trump probably wants some money. I mean, a monopoly is when you vertically own everything in the supply chain, right?
Well, and you stop others
Well,
from being able to compete.
yeah, so it's vertical monopolies and it's also horizontal monopolies.
Okay. Well, personally, I'm gonna just give my opinion. I haven't looked too much into that case because I feel like he's just gonna beat it. They had Bill Gates inside of this thing at one point in time, and Bill Gates was once like Zuckerberg, where nobody really knew him. He was just really known as a shrewd businessman, and he got in trouble for I believe that was antitrust too, because he bought all the shares of Apple. Didn't he get in trouble for that?
Yep.
Yeah, and then they had him in there. He ended up. Did he lose and he had to sell? No, he just sold them, right? He just sold his shares in Apple. But Bill Gates really revamped Apple, if people didn't know. And
Didn't know that.
yeah, when Apple went down in the 90s, Bill Gates pretty much bought up like 40% of the company.
Yeah,
And
he
he got in
saved
trouble.
it.
Yeah,
He saved it so that he wouldn't lose his antitrust lawsuit.
yeah, okay.
That's a
Yeah.
real power move right there. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
looked it up, man, and Instagram is worth like 70 to $100 billion. And I'm just like, bro, even if they sell it, it's only a handful of companies that can buy it, you know?
yeah. And then you right back in the same boat.
Exactly.
Right back
Exactly.
in the same boat. Um, But I think Zuck will beat this, personally and hopefully, simply because we promote all of our products on Meta
Yeah,
platforms.
yeah.
So let's go Zuck. And Instagram just wouldn't be the same if it was owned by somebody else, you know. So, and I wouldn't call it a monopoly because he doesn't own TikTok, he doesn't own Twitter or X or whatever. He doesn't own every social media site. He just owns his, and he got two of them and put them together. That's not a monopoly. They just trying to wreck him. I think
Yeah.
that when you see this kind of stuff going, they poking at him, they're gonna try to get him on something. So Zuck, you ready to fight? They finna treat you like you're black, boy. All right, go do the next.
Now, what I do think he should do, though, he should go ahead and put back all the procedures they had in place before and make sure that they're fact checking, making sure that there's not inappropriate stuff, being posted on the site. Because, I mean, Facebook is the kids, like a family website. So at the very least, he can get that in line. So I do think that needs to happen, but I don't think that the man needs to lose the company that he works for. He came from, I mean, somewhat humble beginnings. I mean, that's like the American dream, right? So like, what are we saying that like if you're an American and you achieve the American dream and then you get to a point where, all right, now we're gonna tear you down because you got too successful. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think it's
that's
fair.
precisely that's the name of the game.
Yeah, see, that's
Yeah,
not fair.
So
I
didn't they
think
have
I think
where it's kind of like Google, the antitrust with Google, where you're having all these deals to make your search engine the default search engine in so many different phones and so many different applications and stuff like that. Whereas you know you really can't exercise the American dream if you're a young up and coming developer and you're trying to like get into these spaces. And I think it's the same thing with like Facebook, right? So I know a lot of apps you get automatically. You can log in with Facebook. So many different websites and different things like that. You can sign up via Facebook. You know what I mean? So it's probably looking towards things like that and not necessarily going against capitalism and chasing the American dream as well. It's probably trying to open up the space for other people to maybe do the same thing and you might make something similar to a Facebook or something like that. And I feel like Instagram has dried up a little bit. I know I'm rarely ever on there. And that may just be me in different stages and stuff like that, but I feel like it doesn't have the same flavor it used to, the same appeal, and it's really becoming a reflection of Facebook. And I used to think Facebook was kind of like Shaq was saying, more of the traditional social media. It's a lot of families, a lot of coworkers and stuff like that. But over the last few years, it's become really convoluted, and I feel like the old person that doesn't really know how to use the newfangled technology and stuff on there, because when I'm on Facebook, it's a lot of stuff that I just don't know how to do. I don't know if it's just because, I gravitated away from it and they've, brought so many different things in, but it's, I wouldn't even say it's as family friendly as it used to be. It's a lot of content on there that it's very unsavory. And, this is after the fact checking, before the fact checking, and stuff like that. So,
where do you spend most of your time on social media then, if it's not like Instagram or Facebook?
so right now, I'm on a lot of Pinterest. If that counts as social media. I know
Hmm.
YouTube doesn't count as social media, but I'm on YouTube the majority of the time, just kind of like looking at different videos and trying to find different stuff out. But mainly, I mean, I'll hop on Instagram or hop on Facebook. I guess more so Facebook because of the family element. Like we have a family reunion coming up, so I'm going on there, checking notifications from them and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I
So
kind
I
of
just wonder. Go ahead, Anthony.
yeah, I'll be quick. I kind of agree with you when you talk about overall scope of Instagram and Facebook, like especially when you talk about like stealing features too, because like I remember Snapchat, which is another company Facebook tried to buy, FYI, so they would look worse if the deal went through. But when Snapchat created stories, they really was having a resurgence. Like people were get like going back to Snapchat so that they could post like things they was doing throughout their day, and
Hmm.
then Instagram just ripped it. And like, and I heard that it's very hard to patent, technology features like on a phone or something like that. That's what Snapchat CEO said. And then like I don't know if y'all heard about that upcoming app Be Real, like a couple years ago, but I saw Facebook try to do something similar to that. Like when Be Real was bubbling up, they try to steal their flow, you know. And I think stuff like that is definitely gonna go into it too.
That makes a lot
Mm.
of sense. Yeah.
Interesting. Yes, I got two things I want to say. One, the first thing I'll say is, do y'all ever be on Clapper?
No,
No.
What is
No,
What kind of
right?
site is that?
No,
never
no,
heard of
Wait,
it.
no.
wait a minute. What kind of site is that?
Exactly.
yeah, like
So Clapper is a basically a TikTok alternative. It's been around for like 2 years, 2 or 3 years, just almost just as long as TikTok. But it just didn't do as well. And I feel like, is that because of Facebook? Is that because of TikTok, or is it just because the choice that people made to gravitate to was they chose to go to TikTok? Or, instead of us choosing to, I know MySpace doesn't exist, but if MySpace still existed, would we all still be on MySpace, or would we have gone to Facebook? Right? Like what made people choose what they chose? Was it because of the actual capabilities of the platform, and they're able to draw people to it? Was that the reason why, or was it some like mischievous means of getting people to stay on their platform? Second thing I want to say is, are we kind of at this like this period of time where we're kind of creating the next, like like the next cable TV networks? So, and what I mean by that is, our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, these things, are these like akin to like a Fox, ABC, NBC, like staples that everybody chooses to go to? Because not everyone's going to choose to go to 20 different apps. Everybody's going to choose to go to, a few different apps, which is what we all have kind of naturally trended towards. Like, everybody goes to Facebook for a certain thing, like Jay was saying. Everybody goes to Instagram for a certain thing. Like, we all do that same thing with everything else in life. It's just, this is kind of like, we're kind of in this space where it's the first time in like our modern history that we've had to choose to standardize a certain platform in a virtual sense, right? So I wonder if that's where we're at, and we're struggling with a lot of friction with getting to that point, because people are like, no, this ain't right. And it's because there's a lot of old people that don't understand. They probably don't even use these platforms, but they just know that, like, well, my kids are on it, and they be doing the dances, they be doing all the inappropriate stuff. They don't really know what the purpose of these things are, and maybe if they had a better understanding of it, it'd be like, oh, okay, this is just a new way of life.
I do think there's a changing of the guard. Like I get that sense right now. Like, I feel like a lot of the social media, like normal media platforms right now are being challenged. I feel like, your Fox News, your
True.
Facebooks, like, you know, this is the time for the new apps to come through, like the new media giants to come to rise up, because it's kind of like we're such in a state of dishevelment that you can basically push whatever your ideals are, you know what I mean, and kind of you're going to have a group of people gravitate toward it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just so sporadic right now. Like you said, there's really no standard. There is, but that standard is waning of, the different social media platforms and things like that. So I really feel like look at TikTok. TikTok is kind of like it was one of the new frontier kind of apps after it took over Musically. Because I remember having Musically on my phone, and like I already had TikTok, and I didn't even know it because they
Mhm.
changed the app. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that's one example. One example of TikTok is trying to be, or TikTok is about to be maybe bought out. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different
Yeah.
situations that hey, it's the opportunity for some people to rise up, or some companies, some ideas or apps to rise up right now.
For sure.
I see what y'all saying, but about those guys who want to rise up and just looking for a break in the system to come up, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like that's they come up, and if that doesn't benefit me, that doesn't help me. So I'm definitely not rooting against Mark. You know, wait a
Yeah.
minute.
I'm not
Yeah,
either.
I'm not rooting against him.
I'm not either,
Yeah.
But
especially since he
it's
got
like
his
Ant said
makeover.
too, though. Oh, go ahead, Shay.
No, no, you good. I was just saying something stupid. You good.
Oh, well, it's like Ant was saying too, though. It's like, at some point, a snowball gets so big where it'll take a colossal something to stop it. And it's the same in this case. Facebook Meta, if it gets sold, it's still gonna be Facebook or Meta. You know what I mean? That playground may just get bigger for you. Who knows the tools that they're gonna bring in, you know what I'm saying, when or if it gets taken over. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing if he does, kind of go down. I feel like.
Yeah. The hard part in
Mm.
these type of cases is it's a thin line between market dominance and monopoly. You know, do you go to Google because it's just a superior search engine to Bing, to Yahoo, to DuckDuckGo, or are there other reasons? But let's go ahead and move on unless anybody got final thoughts on that.
Nobody going duck duck go. That's all I'm gonna say. But
Well, DuckDuckGo is if you are a very private person, DuckDuckGo is not tracked. It is all encrypted. So if you want to Google, hey, how do I burn my neighbor's house down, and the cops want to come back and track you, they can't because
Yeah.
DuckDuckGo does not have a trail. That's what it's for. It's for
but
people who don't want.
then can I make this case then? If DuckDuckGo got to the level of Google, the government would surely step in and be like, something is
Y'all
wrong
gotta
about
track
this.
this. Y'all gotta be able to track.
It's,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, we gotta touch on this topic again, man. Just because we got some updates. Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf case. Carmelo Anthony's bond has been reduced. It was reduced from $1 million to $250,000, and he's now been released from jail after they posted the bond.
That boy came home, like I said last time. And I got a little bit more information. So the reason why he was under their tent is because it was raining.
Mm.
It was
You're
raining, and
kidding.
it was raining, and he walked under their tent, and that's when they were like, "Hey, you got to get out of here." So I'm still not saying he should have stabbed him, but this situation just gets dumber and dumber on both sides, you know. And these two have never met each other before. They never met each other, and yeah, that's what happened. He was under the tent. They told him to get out. He said, "Nah." They attacked him, and while they were fighting, he pulled out the knife and stabbed him straight into the heart.
I think yeah, I'm not gonna say a lot on this, but I think Cam kind of hit the nail right on the head, man, with this last week, man. He when he said that parents have got to teach their kids better conflict resolution, and this is on both sides, man. Like you know, Austin and the brothers, both of them. One, some kid walked under your tent. First of all, is that really that big of a deal? Probably not. But okay, let's say you're young, you're gonna do something dumb, or you're not even dumb. You're just gonna be young. You're gonna be a high school kid, and they're like, "Hey, you get out of here," right? And this kid tells you no. At what point, like, why do you feel the need to continue to engage with this person if they're not doing anything to y'all? If they're just standing there, at some point, you just leave it be. Don't mess with it anymore. Just leave it alone, right? Like that's, but that's not what happened. They it kept going. They kept going, and then for the other side of it, the Austin kid, unfortunately he got to the point where he wanted to retaliate, but his retaliation led to the death of somebody else. And yeah, it's just none of this should have or could have happened if somebody would have just told them, like, some fights you don't need to fight.
Well, I've seen people get to fighting for, a person coming into their section, a person, at a lounge or club or something like that. And honestly, just as far as a random stranger coming into your tent, you know, or
Talking to the mic,
anything,
Jay.
or anything that's your property, it's kind of like you don't want to take it so deep as trespassing, but I know any one of us, if we get a random person walking to uh, a situation with us where we got friends or we got family or something like that, I know we wouldn't take it so well, especially if they didn't leave after we told them to. Um, so yeah, but I know on the conflict resolution for sure. I mean, in a situation like that, it's a lot more of y'all than it is of that person. So I mean, it's hard for me to imagine a peaceful resolution though when you have someone. But it's raining. I understand that too, and it's just like being a human. There's the human aspect as well. So, and I'm pretty sure maybe that they didn't ask this person to leave in a manner that was cordial. But at the end of the day, especially when it comes to like what's right and wrong, when it comes to like who's getting punished, when it comes to the law, a lot of times it's, where were you, and I think that plays a big part in any decision that's in the courts. You know what I'm saying? So um,
I
I
think
don't.
I think it has a lot to do with your stance on how should a person respond to a bully. You know, like on one hand,
Hmm.
America tells us, they made bullying illegal. You know, uh, so that's telling you don't bully people. We're on the victim side. But the other side of it is, well, some people might not respond to bullying by going and telling the teacher. Some people might not respond to bullying by just crying and then, being sad about it. Some people gonna
Ah,
retaliate, you know? And
yeah.
it's kind of like, it's a little bit of nuance in there, like, well, if you was, picking on me, I'm not gonna let you do that. You know what I'm saying? And am I wrong for not letting you have your way with me? You know what I'm saying? And another a little bit of context for you, Jalen. If they were at a track meet, bro, I think that's a lot different than like if you got a family like at a tailgate and this is y'all's tent and an unknown person come up, or if you in a section and an unknown person come up. This was an entire high school's tent. Like, I don't think it was that
They
close.
all
But
Yeah,
belong to the
you
same.
go to the school, you don't own it. That's
no,
no different than gang banging. No different than gang banging. You are repping and claiming something that you have no stake in. You don't own anything. Your parents have not put any money into this school, and you gang banging on it. They saw his shirt said Centennial, and they went to some other school, and then they was like, "Get up out of here," and you died over your school. You know, a lot of people don't understand that gang banging and mentality ain't just Crips and Bloods. People gang bang over politics all the time. I see them. People gang bang over their schools or gang bang over jobs. I remember when I worked at Waffle House, the Waffle House workers was saying stuff like, "Hey, if somebody come up in here and be too rowdy, we gonna jump them." You remember that? I was like, no, I ain't. The $7.25 an hour, man, I'm not joining no gang paying that. Look, that's what that was. And you're right. Everybody will not respond to a bully the same way. Some people not going to go tell Miss Ashley. Some people going to handle it right then and right there. And that's what he did. You know, it's just like everybody not going to go to the cops. Some people going to flatline you, and then the cops come pick you up and try to figure out what happened. It's because they make it seem like school is such a safe place, man, but it's not. The world is not a safe place. If you can't handle something yourself, then a lot of times you going to get ran over in that situation. You know, what T.I. said on that song on Motivation? He said, "What you talking for and gotta run and get folks." If you gotta run and go get somebody, most likely you are the person who getting taken advantage of, or you the person who gonna lose right there in that situation.
I
And
would
that's what
counter
happened.
that though. I don't know, man. I would counter that because I feel like I'd rather make it home at the end of the day than not. Right? Like I have responsibilities at home I want to take care of. My pride doesn't doesn't need to be set in front of me. Like I can set that aside and be like, you know what? I'm gonna go to a different tent. If y'all are tripping, I'm going to a different tent. I don't need this. Yeah, it's gonna feel bad. It's gonna be hard to hear them laughing at you. You're like, oh yeah, but you took a path that is alternative to what you're having to take right now.
Yeah, you right. But see, that's what Shaq would do. That's what Jalen
You're
would do.
right. You're right. Not everybody
That's
thinks
what
like that.
Carmelo is not going to do that. See, the
Well, I
problem
would be
is,
so afraid of the rain that I just duck off in some stranger's tent. I don't really like people like that, so it's just like I wouldn't put myself in that situation, to be honest. That's why I kind of had the reaction that I had because, like, who kind of, you know, runs into somebody's stuff, and maybe it's not their stuff. Do they go to the same school, first of all?
no, they don't.
Mm-mm.
He
Okay,
goes
so
to
I mean,
Centennial. They go to. Go ahead.
okay, and it was track meet. Okay, so that right there, first of all, why? I mean, I just can't see myself just wandering around, and I'm away from my school for the most part, and I'm going around the track field. And now, back in school, I know they used to do that a lot, but that's because they knew people at the other schools. You know what I'm saying? So for you to just run and duck onto somebody's tent that you don't know, first of all, I wouldn't do that. So I wouldn't kind of be in that situation. But I mean, for them to ask you to leave, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't know how they asked, but at the same time, like, it is weird to me to show, like, not to show, like, opposition to that. Like, you know what I'm saying? To say, nah, I'm going to stay here under y'all tent because it's raining. You know what I'm saying? And not try to make it back to my, tent with my people. You know what I'm saying? It's just rain. You know what I mean?
Side note,
And
Jalen,
I'm
those
at a
two
track.
boys are not track star. They don't run track either. They
Okay,
play
well,
football, so they wasn't supposed to be down there either.
oh, those guys weren't supposed to be down there.
Yeah, the two white guys, the Metcalf boys, were not track. They were not track stars or whatever you would call them. They did not run track. They just were down there at the tent.
Okay.
So it was like a makeshift student section
It was a
moment,
student. It
basically.
was a tent for. I forgot what school they went to, but it was a tent for that school, right?
Mhm.
And they went to the school, but they were football players, and they just went under there. They weren't supposed to be there either,
Oh, but they went
right?
to the school though. Like that's just how it go in high school. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you got a sports event, if you play any sport, you can pretty much go and G with the, you know what I'm saying? We had football players before football season was over,
Yeah.
would come into the locker room with basketball boys because they knew after football season was over, they probably was gonna come play basketball with us. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's pretty common. You know what I'm saying? Track used to mix with football, football used to mix with track. Hell, band used to even go and mix with
Yeah.
some people. So
Yeah.
I think that's really
Let me
normal.
paint the picture. Tent right here, Warren Central. Sitting right next to it, almost touching. Vicksburg High. Sitting right next to it. Noxubee High. Sitting right next to it. Frisco High. It's like that. Tent. He just ran up under one of the up under the, where everybody was at, where all the tents were colliding at. He just went up under there and sat. And I guess he was up under the. So if he would have stuck his arm out, his hand would have been in somebody else's tent. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't just one tent for this school, and then there was nothing else around it. No, they were tent,
That makes it
different
worse
schools.
because if that's the case and you had another tent so close to you that you could sit one tent and reach your hand out and touch another one, why when these people asked you to leave their tent, you ain't just what was your statement?
Well,
Just
but
don't move.
but so you would take orders from another student your age? This not a teacher telling them this.
It's like if I go and walk in somebody else's yard
Another
to
thing too, I think.
try to go to it. You know what I'm saying? To try
Let
to
me,
go to
let me say this one thing too, Jalen. I think the whole they asked him to leave. I think that was a narrative that may have been making light of the situation.
and
It
what
might
way?
not have just been a, hey,
Hey, can you move?
Can you move from under our tent, please?
Yeah.
You know,
No, I definitely agree with that. I feel like, of course, it probably
Nah,
was something.
you could
that
look
was
at them boys' eyes and tell what kind of boys they was. You could look at them and tell.
But that's the thing,
Yeah.
though, right? Like, if that's the case, what makes you just want to be like, especially when it's a group of people, it's just like you put yourself in this. It's just like, I'm not going to go in nobody's yard if I see a rusty pickup truck and
But a
three
yard is
dogs.
something someone else owns. These guys do not own this.
But it's a tent, though. It's just like if I go to a tailgate or if I go to homecoming, it's like rules to go into people's tent. You don't really go to nobody's tent unless you know them. You know what I mean? I get
Yeah, I
what
feel what you're
So,
saying. I think that he was
y'all
probably just
saying.
trying to avoid the rain. Like he probably wasn't even thinking about whose tent I
yeah.
was under. He was just like, ah, it's raining. Like everybody was probably just scattering, but he probably was just that person that went to the wrong tent.
well, no,
I would have been that
he was heading for the tents, not a tent, the tents. These tents are like right beside each other, connected. He was
Uh,
headed for the tents, not just so he ran up
but he
under the.
didn't. But he
And when
wasn't worried about which one I'm going to. I'm just trying to
yeah,
avoid the rain. At the end of the
yeah,
day, I just don't want to
the
get wet.
tents, yeah, and then
That's the logic. Why, when you are rudely asked to leave that tent, don't you just go to the next tent? If your
Because
purpose
pride.
is to exactly, and that's my point I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying? Like you set yourself up for failure, and then you let pride take over. Like you had because you honestly you go in like you have a stake in just being here. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm so
I
glad it's being
realize,
recorded.
huh?
I'm so
Yeah,
glad
I
this
mean,
being
I hear
recorded.
what y'all are saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about
What? What you
him
mean by that?
in the tent. I don't think it should have escalated to what it escalated to. But at the same time, it's just like to justify him being. Was he a track runner? Did he run track?
He was a
Okay.
superstar. He was a track running
Okay.
superstar. He was one of the best ones out there that day.
I understand what you're
Did
saying,
they have a
Jalen.
tent?
Probably
His
so.
his school did have a tent, but it was on the
Probably
other
so.
side.
I understand what you're saying, Jalen, but like George Zimmerman, he didn't have to follow Trayvon. You know what I'm saying? Kyle Rittenhouse didn't have to be in whatever city that was that they was protesting in. Like,
Wisconsin.
you know,
Those were
like you
assailants that
like
put themselves in them places, though. Like this is a
yeah,
guy who went to the animal house. You know what I'm saying?
that's what I'm saying. So what you saying has merit, but in the way the law works, is not. So the stand your ground law says you can, as long as you're legally supposed to be in a place, you can stand your ground. So if he runs track, he's legally supposed to be there. It's not, he can't be under that tent.
Yeah, so when we get
So
into a legal aspect of it, but I don't know if he'll be granted that grace. I think they're going to go all around the world and try to find some kind of way to get him in trouble on anything. That's what I think is going to happen. But, legally he had a right to be anywhere on that field. And then,
yeah,
different, and people said it, like other students came out and said, yeah, different students are under different tents all the time. They see friends, they all in the North Dallas area. So people see friends, see people all the time. It was one kid said, yeah, I was in the Centennial tent. That's the school that Karmelo went to. One kid said, I was under the
yeah,
Centennial tent. Yeah,
yeah.
that
So
day.
so
So
I
it,
totally understand what you're
Hey,
saying, but
sports, though, you
and they said
go
it's
ahead.
not it
go
is
ahead, go
not
ahead.
it's not unnormal for football players and students who don't run track to be down there either. So that's what they
Yeah,
said too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Makes
So
sense.
I'm just saying, like, if you played sports at all, or even if you just was the cool one of the cool cats, you know what I'm saying, in the stands and stuff, you could sometimes walk onto the field and G with football players and stuff. It just that's with sports. Now I don't know when it comes to legalities how that works because I know when it comes to being in school, a lot of them lines, hey, if you cool with the teacher, man, if you cool with the coach, or you cool, I mean that's just the law of the land. That's just how it is. So at this point, I just feel like if it was a situation where dude was getting jumped, that's where the problem lie, and that's where you know what I mean. What happens after that? Hey, it is what it is. Because I mean, when you put your hands on me, now we got a whole different situation. But at the same
Yeah, and
time, do I
they
feel like,
attacked him first.
yeah, I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like like I'm totally understanding that part. Like, hey, I feel like he was supposed to defend himself. All I'm saying is it's just like putting yourself in a position to kind of like do that. It's just like even me, right? Like, and I know I'm different from a lot of people, but I think some of y'all are like this too. It's like reading a room, right? Like you seen those guys that did this to him, you know what I'm saying, that initiated this with him. And it's just like when I walked under that tent, I kind of would have been like, maybe I should go to the next tent type deal. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
like if he didn't have any
I
friends
mean,
there, I just don't know what was his stake in being in this particular tent. That's
you,
all.
you know what it was, Jay? Because you said before that you didn't go to school with a lot of different races, right? It was mostly just black people, right? So I did go to school with a lot of races, and whenever you are exposed to that, you don't think differently whenever you see other races under a tent, right? You think that I belong because this is normal. And if this guy went to school in North Texas, which he did, um, they all did, he would have had that same mindset. I can only assume that he would have had that same mindset of like, I don't feel out of place because everywhere I go, there's black people, white people, Mexican people, Japanese, Chinese, like everybody, right?
Yeah,
He's so he wouldn't have felt out of place.
that
I
make a
get what
whole
you're
lot.
saying.
That make a whole lot
Um,
of sense, actually.
I just feel like the fact of the matter is that, and it's a terrible situation. These these kid, it started raining at a track meet. This kid was just running to get cover. Clumsily may have went to the wrong tent. There were two boys under there that went a little too hard, not a little too hard, but they stood up for something they probably didn't need to stand up for, and then it ended in tragedy. I mean, that's and it sucks to be that way because if that had not happened, if the kid had not been killed, it hadn't gone to that situation, and it would have just been a scuffle, and I was Carmelo's dad or brother or uncle or something like that, I've been like, man, why didn't you just move? That's what I would tell him. Why didn't you just move? Right? Like, and he probably been like, I don't know. If we were to go
Yeah,
back in time, he probably would think, dang, I should have just moved, man. But that's just
yeah.
my mindset on it, man. So
But yeah, let's
Gotta
go ahead
ask
and wrap
you,
that.
how do you,
I
as a
want.
track meet and you run track, how do you get like a knife
He
on you
just
like
had,
that?
I just
He had
had
it
one
on
on
him.
him. He just had one on him. Just, I mean, people
Yeah.
carry weapons. People don't carry weapons looking to
But I
hurt
mean, he
somebody.
was at a track meet, right? That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
normally, when you in sports, like organized sports, like you know what I'm saying, like it's hard.
Well,
Like you got the
see,
coaches on you. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
well, he had a
It's,
weapon and they
it's kind
didn't.
of
So
scary.
that's why.
It's easy to sneak a weapon onto school premises like that, and you're an
Yeah, he
Yeah,
had
athlete.
a
man,
weapon.
them
He had
folks
a
used to have
weapon.
pocket knives all up and through the school.
Yeah, they
That's
did. Yeah, I remember that too. But he had a
yeah,
weapon they
yeah.
didn't,
we had
and guess who
metal
did?
detectors. And this is going back to what you said, Shaq, because it's just so different growing up. Kind of like it was just a totally different situation. We had metal detectors coming into the school, security guards with the wands and stuff like that. Anyway, yeah,
I bet it took
that's
y'all
crazy.
forever to get in.
Not really. I mean, he'll just. But we
Okay,
had we had the metal detectors.
let's talk about it, man. The
I, I,
R&B Mount
that's about right.
Rushmore.
What is
We
Neo
got
doing up
Mike
there?
Jack, Neo, Usher, and Chris Breezy, man.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. I agree with that.
First of all,
100%.
why ain't R. Kelly on? Who made this?
What
It
you
was
Who
on the
mean?
made it?
Shade Room.
I just want to know who made it. That's it. What's the source?
It was on the Shade Room, man.
That's the most viral one.
Yeah, I need to see the comments. Cause if R. Kelly ain't on the, something ain't right. Something ain't right. And
R.
you
Ke-
got
what
you
you
got
mean?
Michael Jackson up there.
Bro, yeah,
Michael
That's
Jackson.
Whoa.
pop.
It's like 3 variations on there, and Michael Jackson on every one of them.
And then
bro.
there's the white Mike Jackson. That ain't even the black Mike Jackson.
How
You,
can you
Oh
you
tell? How can
man,
you
don't
tell?
even.
go back and look at the hair. Look at the
Yeah,
hair.
it is.
You know he
His
It
went
hair
from
was
is.
girl.
like that when he was black.
Nah, it wasn't like that though. It was
Nah, man.
his nose wasn't like that when he was like either.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
yeah.
All I'm
But
saying,
this,
Neo,
man,
that makes sense. Neo make that makes sense. A lot of people don't know, man.
Neo?
I
Has
don't know
written
about that,
Neo has written so
So
many
many, yeah.
of your favorite artist songs, from Beyonce to Rihanna to make the heck.
He only wrote one song for Beyonce, and Beyonce don't perform that song anymore as a slight to him. Like, dude, I don't need you.
But he did though. I'm just saying, like you could try to
He
take the
wrote
man
Chris
credit
Brown
all you
stuff.
want to, but that man cold, bro. And then
but
I like Neo,
uh,
dude. I think Neo should replace. See, there were only 2 of them, so it was the alter. They were altering out Neo and R. Kelly. I think that Neo should replace R. Kelly. Neo should be in R. Kelly's place. I think so. Neo has outsold him. Neo has wrote. I mean, R. Kelly wrote a lot of records, but he ain't never wrote no hits for nobody else like that. Neo wrote number
what
ones
you
for other people.
mean?
Man, dude, the biggest song. What is the biggest song that R. Kelly wrote for somebody else? He wrote a lot of songs for other people, but they weren't hits. Like, I'm talking about numbers wise. Like, they didn't chart very well when he writes somebody else's stuff. It sound good, like that life,
Bro, for Michael Jackson.
life. Yeah, but that song wasn't a hit, was it? That's the biggest hit. That's what I'm saying. That's the biggest hit he had. What was that? Was
It was what, Human Nature or
No, it wasn't Human Nature. That was before R. Kelly came out. It was the one. It was like You Are Not Alone. That's the one R.
Yeah,
Kelly
yeah.
wrote. Yeah. So that's his biggest hit. But Neo, he got Irreplaceable. He got
it says-
Umbrella. He got
They co-wrote "You Are Not Alone."
which mean R. Kelly wrote that. Which mean R. Kelly. You could hear R. Kelly in it. Just like my name is Charlie. Last
Yep,
name Wilson. You could hear R. Kelly in that.
and Magic, just like he wrote Magic for I Can Do Magic. That's R. Kelly. When he said you a bad boy, Kez. Nah, that's you a bad boy, Charlie.
My
Yeah.
thing with R. Kelly is when it's like some of his big or best songs, according to his fans, stuff like "Feeling on Your Booty," they whack to
Either his lyrics are corny, is that what you trying to
I
say?
don't. I mean, I
yes,
feel him like
yes,
you remind me of my Jeep and Honey Love. Like I just don't like that stuff, man. I
yeah.
just don't like it. I
Oh,
look
that's funny.
like that. I wish. I like that. But man, a
You
lot of that
saved
stuff like
me.
12 playing stuff, man. I don't like that music, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you don't
He
have
he came from a
high
different time
sexual
though.
energy. You have a very low sexual energy. That's what it is. You only
Okay.
enjoy sexual energy. You have
Was that?
Wow, a guy out here telling me I have low sexual energy for R. Kelly. I'll be that today. I'm glad I got low sexual energy to you, man. All right.
your sexual vibrations are very low, brother. You gotta.
Oh man, that
Yeah.
was funny.
That's why you don't like the 12 plays and the honey love and the bumping grinds and all that good stuff that a lot of other people like.
I, look, man, I like some songs that say some crazy
That's R and
things.
B. That's
I
R and B.
just
You
don't
like
like.
the stuff that he do when he kind of go away from R and B a little bit and go more so like
Yeah, like You Saved Me. I Believe I Can Fly. Man, the song he made for Muhammad Ali, The World's Greatest, man, he killed it.
Yeah,
You know,
that
I
was the
love
best
those
of
That
R.
was
songs.
Kelly.
good.
changes.
That
That was
was the
Y'all
best
ain't
of
good.
R.
even
Kelly.
heard prayer changes. That like these are
Yes,
like
I
Yeah,
have,
that,
dude. Prayer
that's the
Changes,
R.
dude. I
Kelly that we like.
love that song.
yeah,
Hey,
Prayer
but R. Kelly also
changes things.
R.
that's what
Kelly
I'm saying.
wrote
His
wrote
bag is
wrote
so deep.
musicals.
Exactly. Man, I'm just saying, when you really look at the catalog, like I watched an hour and I told y'all this, but everybody else, I watched that concert where he was in Chicago. I think it was the Light It Up tour or something like that. I watched an hour and 50 minutes of the performance. And this dude had songs the whole entire time, and I still had hits that he didn't even play. Like that's insane to me, bro. That's insane. That's R&B, right? Mount Rushmore stuff. That's deserving of that.
Dude, I
Who
mean,
else
who
could
do
do
I have
that?
more songs? I have more R. Kelly songs on my phone than Neo. I wasn't saying that I don't like R. Kelly. I was saying that it's like a lot of his songs that people love, they just sound old and sound dated to me. I wasn't around when they came out. Now Neo got the hits.
You
So
weren't
that's what I
around.
mean.
You weren't around, R. King. You probably
Dude,
could have
I
helped
never
him.
heard. I heard Honey Love for the first time like maybe a month ago. Man,
Man, stop the cap, man. Stop the
man,
cap.
I just
This
can't get with it,
Nah,
man.
stop the cap, man. This dude did
Oh,
not hear Honey Love a month ago, dog.
Dude, I
I
promise you,
probably
my
done played Honey Love around you.
nah. Well, let me see something. When was that? That was Thanksgiving when Jazz told us about it. Yeah, it was very recent. When I first heard Honey Love. I didn't like it, and I realized that's what he was talking about on that song. I Wish. He said, "Honey Love goes platinum and y'all come around." Yeah, he said that. That's what he was talking about. So Honey Love was his first song that went platinum. But I like R. Kelly, man.
man,
But
that's funny.
I think that Neo should replace him though for sure because Neo got the hits. So when we talk about stuff that everybody like. If you play I Wish, nobody gonna know that. But if you go out there and you play
And play what?
Miss Independent, boy, everybody know that. If you play that Sexy
Oh,
Love,
it's something about the way she moves.
man.
This is
Man, I don't
Hey,
know,
bro.
man.
Everybody know. Everybody know. And I'm so sick of love songs. So
'cause that's
tired
it.
of, so tired of. Like, come on, bro. That boy, he a king of R&B. Nelly,
Everybody.
Neo has replaced
But
R. Kelly
nah, I don't
as
know,
one of the
man.
kings.
Like that.
I'm not gonna lie. I think they're
So
both weak.
sick.
I think they're both weak because they both have a block where different generations don't know their music. Like for Neo, I guarantee you, there's a point in a generation where they're alive right now. They'll be like, I don't know who that young kid is. I don't know no so sick of love songs. I don't know that. But then there's also, for the other side, there's a lot of people that at some point that don't know who R. Kelly is because it just wasn't in their peer view. But
Everybody know
everybody knows
Okay,
Chris.
I have
Everybody
one
knows
Neo
Usher.
song on my phone. I got one Neo song, "What You Do," featuring Neo by Chris and Michelle. Let's see some. Let's see R.
that
Kelly.
might. Hey, I
Can
like
you
them.
can you name
And I
a
have two R.
R&B
Kelly
song
songs
that's
on my
better
phone.
than So Sick?
I got two R. Kelly songs on my phone.
Can you
What?
name a R. Kelly R&B song that's better than So Sick?
Step in the name of love.
Exactly. Step in the
Ooh,
name
the name
of
of
love.
love. What? That's
That's
every
a
way.
dance song. That's a dance song.
What do
And
Ignition
you?
I can't.
remix.
What does that got to do with
Ignition,
anything?
ignition, and
Ignition.
ignition remix.
Oh
Woo!
man,
Hey, that ignition a hit. Ignition a hit.
Man.
Ignition,
Everybody.
ignition, yeah, that's one of
Wasn't
the.
that
The
even hot
remix
on
just as
TikTok
good
at
as
some
the
point?
original.
Hey, do y'all remember at State when they had their talent show? And everybody was out there doing their talent, and the girl came out there a cappella. Now, I'm not trying to be rude, so hey, pretty girl, I'm feeling you, and the whole crowd singing with her, and she won. Y'all remember that?
That's cool.
Hey, you see, people can do what they want to online and on media and in social and all this other type of stuff, bro. But when you get some people together and you play that motherfucking R. Kelly, that shit that people know, bro, everybody grooving. I'm sorry, I don't care.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah. The other
Yeah,
three can
Neo
reach
can't
all
carry no party
generations
like
and
R.
people.
Kelly can.
Stop it. You tripping now.
Well,
Be
you
real
So
like him,
done
too.
with
Now,
wishing she was still here.
You
Come
playing
on,
that at a
bro.
party, R.
Everybody
You played
remix
that at
that.
the cookout.
Every rapper, the New York drill rappers to Chicago drill to California, they all redid that song. You go look it up. What's the girl Dallas who just died? Her name was like whatever. She remixed it. Boston Richie just did another remix to "So Sick of Love" songs. Man, I'm telling you, man, that dude music is generational. I mean, R. Kelly, I got two R. Kelly songs on my phone. I got one Neo song, but I'm finna download So Sick. So that's gonna be 2-on-2. Hits.
let me ask you
Really?
something.
Neo
Shaq.
hits is the Neo got
Let
the
me
hits.
ask you something, Shaq. Since you, Mr. Ethical, on the pod, is it okay to leave R. Kelly off based on his reputation?
oh, see, yeah, I didn't see. I wasn't even trying to go that way, man. But you know what? Like, if that is the criteria here, of like which of these people remain the most ethical throughout their whole entire career, then yeah, R. Kelly would come off. But also Chris Brown
But
would come
none of them
off.
should be up there in that case. Because, Ursha gave that girl that stuff that one time. Chris Brown beat that girl that one time. And then MJ touched them little boys. And then, Neo. No, Neo.
All that stuff was alleged. These guys were not convicted. R. Kelly is the only one that been convicted out of everything you said.
That is true.
Neo,
That is
Neo
true.
polygamous.
But Chris Brown did do
Neo
that though, so
polygamous,
it ain't no.
But being a polygamist ain't illegal.
But this is a
Who's
God-fearing
polygamous?
nation, our king.
Neo has like 3 wives or
What
something
is
like
it?
that.
And
4
under
wives.
God, in God we trust. This is a God-fearing nation.
Look,
What?
man.
She talking about Jake.
He just trying to throw some smut on Neo name so we can take him off the top, off the Mount Rushmore.
This is a God fearing nation.
But
I'm just
I do
saying,
want to ask
you
y'all
gotta
this though.
separate
Okay,
the art from the artist.
I do want to ask y'all this. Who else who are like the runner ups? Like we know we got these 4 plus R. Kelly. Who like number 6, 7,
Avon.
8? Like
Who?
Avon?
But
You said Avon?
I heard you.
Bro,
Oh, I heard you.
you been
like,
off
yo,
of Mississippi.
listen to
Yeah.
R&B like that.
Bro, Avant?
Yes.
Why him? Why
He's
him?
Yeah.
great.
Good question. Good
Oh my
question, bro.
God. Okay, who would y'all say?
Not no Avon.
Let's say that. I got a list of people right now. Well, let's talk time
Usher was
frame.
already on the
What we
list.
talking time frame? Because
Um,
if we going
I
back in
gotta know.
time,
it's kind of like a huge drop,
What
ain't
do
it?
we mean back in time, Shaq? R&B existed back in time. The R&B scene right now is trash. Trash.
see,
The Coco
What?
Jones and stuff of the world are trying to save
I
it.
think
You got our boy from
If we
what's his
being
name?
real, right up under that is SZA.
You got some people
Louisiana.
that coming up, but you know, for a while R&B was hurting. R&B
Oh
was
yeah,
hurting. So I
yeah,
mean,
it's a
I
resurgence.
think
yeah,
I do think I'll go on record to say that
it's barely
SZA,
R&B.
Bryson
Bang, bang,
Tiller,
bang. Boy, you
SZA, Bryson
If you
Tiller,
crazy.
and
SZA just made a generational R&B song, man, with Snooze. That's gonna be playing for the rest of our lives, man.
I
Wait, you don't think that
understand
she's
that.
that good, Jay? Is that what you said?
See, I
Is
ain't
that what
say
you
that.
said?
I ain't say that.
Oh,
See, you
what
trying
did
to
you
Mary
say?
J. Blige. Mary J. Blige. She got them hits on Avant. Come on, man.
You
Mariah
said
Carey.
Mary J. Blige over Avant? See, you just talking about
yes,
hits, bro.
absolutely,
Everybody know Mary J.
absolutely.
Blige can't even actually sing.
What? Hey, bro. Hey, hang it up. Hey, pull the plug on this thing. That's the
It's
clip
just
right
like
there. That's going on.
it's just like that dude got exposed, John B. It's just like he got exposed. When he did that live stuff, he got exposed, bro. If you know how to sing, most likely you still know how to sing now. Look at my boy Joe. He was who I was gonna say next. He probably ahead of Avant, but my boy Joe. And if you really listen to R&B, you cannot.
Joe is ahead of Avant. Joe ahead of Avant. Yeah,
I
for
would
sure.
put
Joe ahead of
Tiller.
Brent.
Joe ahead of
I would
Avant.
put Brent Fayez over Avant.
Yeah, me too.
That's what that's why I was asking what era of time we talking about, because if we going back in the cut, to be honest with you, there's some people that could have knocked at least one of them people off of this Mount Rushmore. There's a couple people.
You
If we
got to,
going back in the cut,
Shaq. If you talking about R&B, man, you got to talk
Marvin
about
Gaye,
them greats that just sit, huh?
Marvin Gaye,
Gaye.
Marvin Gaye should have knocked one of them off. Al Green
He
could have
was
knocked one
cut.
of
He
them
was
mugs
cut
off.
short though. If he was able to have a whole career, I would completely agree with you. But since
Dude,
he did,
Keith Sweat is above Avant. It's so many dudes before
no,
Avant.
no, I will not let you do
I don't know
that.
about
I was
about
gonna
Keith
say
Sweat.
Keith Sweat, but the thing is, Keith Sweat cannot outsing Avant. And if we talk about R&B, they gotta be able to sing, man. They gotta be able to sing. Mario.
All right,
I'm
so
putting Mario.
so we had a debate years ago. It was me and these three girls, and they told me Kiki Wyatt could sing better than Beyonce,
Yep.
and I was like,
There's a lot of people that can sing better than Beyonce.
Exactly.
okay, but it's people that can sing better than Michael Jackson. Luther Vandross, Luther. We
Luther!
don't even say that man name. We don't even want to put that
Hey,
man
we-
up
hey,
there
we-
when
we-
you're talking
we-
about singing. But he
Right.
was not greater than Michael Jackson.
But Michael Jackson wasn't strictly R&B.
They were different. He was
Yeah,
pop.
that's why Michael Jackson was pop, man. He ain't no R&B, man. He should be up there. That makes me mad. I don't like that. That angers me. That's like that star.
Drake,
setting.
I think Drake's R&B catalog could be top 10.
Now you just trolling. You just trolling.
Drake's
R&B
R&B
We gonna move
catalog,
past
that could
that.
put him top
We
10.
We
What
gonna
you
move
think,
past
Jalen?
it. You don't have to agree with that, Jay, if you don't want to.
Work on the side right there. And I know you trying to get a reaction.
Hey, he was disgusting. I ain't never seen Jay look like that.
I know he was trolling, man. I know he trolling. What?
I ain't trolling, bro. He could crack the top 10 R&B.
That's crazy.
God.
You
Is
go-
anything I'm doing brand new? Bria's interlude? Come on, man.
I just feel like you a 2000s baby right now because I can't believe like the first two choices you give are Brent Fayez, Drake as your number two. I don't know, man. I just feel like you ain't really been listening to R&B like that. Like, okay,
Look,
who would your
So
third person be?
so
Who would
so
your
you
third
think
person be?
Miguel?
my
Huh?
third, I might throw the weekend up there, man.
Oh yes, yeah, dude. Weekend,
Wait, which the
man.
weekend? The old weekend,
Yeah, old
or
weekend,
okay?
dude.
The
Stuff
whole
like
weekend.
Snow Child. That's
Oh, the
my
whole
type of
weekend.
R&B. Like Weekend. Y'all ever heard Snow Child by Weekend or Escape LA?
Bam, 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 bam.
I don't know, so it's no time.
We are
We are
not the
not the
same. I am a
same. I am too
Martian.
reckless. I'm not trying to go it. Come on, man.
Oh yeah, I like those. I mean, that's just one of them areas where I just don't know if I consider the weekend to be R&B. Like that man, he started off so like trippy red grunge R&B type stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, like he kind of
He
doing that
started the
depressing.
alternative R&B scene. He
Yes,
made the alternative
exactly.
R&B scene hot. Yeah.
Yeah, like he wasn't rapping about no, oh, I'm about to find the love of my life and we gonna get to the crib and I'm about to, lay chocolate out and all this other stuff. He was talking about like doing hard drugs and like, having sex with three strippers at the same time and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I can put him up there
That's
on that.
living.
Oh
That's love right there. What you mean? That's
man,
his description of love.
I
So,
think you have a different. I think you have a different perspective of R&B, like though, like entirely than us. You definitely are a '90s R&B person. Because everyone that you have like called out, Jay, has been like someone that we traditionally would be like, oh yeah, like that's those are the people that
Yeah.
you've called
Who?
out.
Yeah. Yeah. Jodeci. Jodeci is greater than Boys to Men.
Mm.
I
You
like
think
Joe.
you think so?
I ain't
Jodeci
gonna
is
say
greater than Boys to Men.
Then boys the men.
Yeah.
What about New Edition?
I like New Edition.
Not enough material.
That's true.
Mm.
Boys to
Interesting.
Men. Boys to Men got that song with Mariah Carey, and that's like one of the biggest songs. Well, that song was like the longest. Had the longest run of being number one in history.
What I don't like is that everybody
I ain't
that
know that.
Arkeem has said he's had to look up, and I just feel like if you a
What?
true like purveyor of like
Not you
R&B,
calling him
and you
out.
really
God,
and you
dog.
really listen to R&B, you ain't gotta like oh let me look up who done sold this and sold that. If for a point in my time
I
in
just
life,
know that off the top of that dome. I know that off the top of the dome. I don't know. That may not even
man,
be true no more. I saw that like 10 years ago.
man,
Man,
listen,
I'm
man.
just gonna say I'm offended that ain't nobody giving Brent Fayez any love. Lucky Day hasn't gotten any love.
We
Daniel
said,
Caesar hasn't gotten any
and said,
love.
and said, Brent,
Yeah, he
and
said Brent. He said Brent. Yeah, you right. Trey Songs as well.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Trey. I said Trey. Trey
Music
is
Soul
above
Child.
Avant. Trey is above Avant too. Avant is like zero. And then anybody above him is like upper
I
crust.
can't.
Anybody up under him is lower crust.
Genuine.
Hell nah. You ain't want
Marion.
conversation.
What about Tank? What about Tank and Tyrese? You mess with them?
I mess with them. I mess with them. Tank and
I don't be
Tyrese.
listening to him. Hey,
I
Tank
literally
was
don't know
fire.
any songs by Tank.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
me either.
I couldn't.
Wait,
Yeah, someone had a gun to my head. I couldn't name one. Couldn't sing
Or
a
at least I don't
chorus.
Oh,
know it's
when
him.
we by Tank. Yeah, that's the one I know by him. And he had another one, but when we go hard,
I know that
Yeah,
a
dudes
lot of
like him.
songs, you don't know, or you know him, but you don't know it's him or Tyrese, especially for me and La A. There are a lot of them that you
Mm,
don't know. Yeah, they Tyrese.
Gotcha.
y'all ain't
that's
know
just
Um.
too
no
brave.
love. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Well,
Chris said
we
Michelle.
can wrap up right after this next little topic, unless y'all got anything further on the R&B tip.
Oh
First
yeah,
of
You
all,
be you be funny with them transitions,
I was
Dancer.
passing off R. Kelly up there. I just want to do my top four real quick, if I had to.
Okay. Yeah. Give your top four.
All right. You got R. Kelly up there, King of R&B. He got to be up there. Um, I'm gonna put my boy Usher up there, just cause longevity and man, he done had some hits. I'm gonna put. Ooh, do I put Joe up there or do I put? I'm gonna put my boy Chris Brown up there, cause man, that first Chris Brown, them first few Chris Brown albums is just you can't do nothing with them. And then four. I want to get that spot to a woman, just because. Um,
Mariah.
dang,
We can just
nah,
make it all men for this one. We
yeah,
can
I
do
make it
a
all for this. I do it all man for this. So my last one would be, ooh, God, I probably would go with Brent Fayez, man. He blend the old and the new perfectly for me. You know what I'm saying? And I have listened to him a lot, a whole lot.
okay.
Yeah, I remember I put you on Brent.
Oh,
Shaq,
chill
who you
out.
got?
He did put everybody on Brent. I
For
ain't
the
gonna
I
lie.
record, I
put
put
Jalen on
everybody
Brent,
on Brent.
bro.
For the record, I put
I'm glad.
everybody
I'm
on.
glad. I'm
I've been
glad you
listening.
got him in your
I've been listening
Mount
to
Rushmore.
Sunder, and I've been listening to Brent since what 2015, I believe, 14, 15, I
The
believe.
first time I ever heard of Brent Fayez was that song, "You See Money All Around Me."
Oh
I
yeah,
look
see
like
you way
I'm
Oh
behind.
money.
yeah,
You way
that
behind.
was
You ain't heard Allure, you know what I'm saying? You ain't heard
I heard that. You know,
Lonely.
he does make good R&B, but who I think is better than him, the top R&B guy is Blast. But yeah, guys, Blast is the greatest. We're gonna move on to the next
who
topic.
your top four? Nah, who your top four, Arcane?
you
Make sure
think
you include
last.
Blast in there.
Yeah.
Make sure you
Do your
include
top
Blast.
four.
Oh, Blast is not top four yet, but he's coming. He's not.
Oh, okay.
So Blast is somewhere around, I'd say six, maybe seven right now. But if you give him another 10 years, he'd probably be at number one. But number one, of course, is Michael Jackson. Number two, even though I don't like Chris Brown music anymore, just what he did with that first album and how it made me feel as a kid, I put Chris Brown at number two. Number three, I will put Neo. No, number three is Usher. And number four, Neo. Number
Chris Brown.
five, R. Kelly. Number six, Trey Songz. Number seven, Big Blast. Number eight, Brent Fayez.
All right.
Number one, I got Mike Jack. Number two, I got Usher. Number three, I got The Weeknd. And number four, I got Drake's R&B catalog.
Was the committing to Drake. All right, I'm
So
a
you like overall, you like Usher over Chris Brown?
Yeah.
Even like I'm talking about Chris Brown, like when we was kids, back when we used to stay at the house. That Chris Brown, like then a Young Love, like when we used to
Man,
listen to Chris
Baby,
Brown for
you a winner.
real.
Take
Man,
it
I got
12.
I got so many Usher songs that I love, bruh. You remind me, you make me wanna. Confessions 2.
Nigga dancing.
You know, I don't know, man. He just got so many records, bruh. Like if you go look at Usher's catalog, he got like 15 records that like if he went in a verses with anybody, I don't know if the 15 could lose.
If Chris Brown pull out that first one, if we ain't
Superstar.
21, they be trying to say it ain't love. Hey, come on. No, baby, if we can't hit the club, they be trying to say we're too young. Yeah. I ain't saying that we're trying to be grown. God knows I am too. Man, that boy killed that, man. He killed that. Man, he killed that.
He
I
perfectly
that
embodied the team.
that's the best. Now that album, Chris Brown, that's the best R&B album I've ever heard to this day.
to this day.
Scott
All right,
Storch.
well, these are in no specific order because I don't want to rank them like that. Uh, I'm gonna say Usher. Up there. Daniel Caesar is up there. for me. Lucky Day is up there for me. And then my last one, I want to give it to someone like Giveon, but he disappointed me with his last album that he dropped. That last album just wasn't that great to me, but his first one was like, dang, it's gonna be the next big thing. But yeah, it just didn't happen, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to. I'm looking at my list over here. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Anderson Pop.
Anderson Park
It-
for R&B.
That's his list, man. But yeah, he more like of a funky boy. You know, he was
I
in
wanna-
Austin not too long ago, bro.
Hey.
Go ahead.
When
I
we
want
all
to take
in
my
the
joke
same
back.
place,
Number 4 on my list is Chris Brown, not Drake's R&B catalog. I was just doing a little trolling.
What you say, Jay?
We know.
I gotta put y'all on some R&B, man. Like we gotta do it.
I'm gonna be in Dallas, bro.
You know what?
Be verses or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta put y'all on. Man, you said Anderson Park.
I'm down for it. I'm down for it, man. I'll take you on
We
verses.
gotta do an R&B verses, or you know what I'm saying? We pour some scotch up, get some cigars. You know what I'm saying? And I put
I'm
y'all
down,
on
man.
R&B, man, because for
I'm
the
down.
choices that y'all done said, you know what I mean? I wonder. I wonder, man. I gotta put y'all on some stuff.
All right, the people are
Jayla,
asking
I
for
ain't
it.
finna sip no scotch and listen to R&B with you. No.
To be fair,
Hey, Shaq, I ain't finna pour no scotch up and listen to some R&B with a guy who got high sexual energy.
Oh, man.
See that?
Hey, that
see how
came
they,
back.
see how they try to get you?
That came back.
That's why Diddy in jail right now.
Yeah, nice try, Diddy. Yeah, no,
hey
that's
man,
funny. Hey, but I ain't gonna lie
this
though.
subject
Somebody that
is
we didn't call
R&B.
out that we should have. I ain't gonna say should have, but we could have. Robin Thicke.
Oh, chill out, man.
Hey,
What? He got hits.
hey, the old dude did the
Not enough.
thing, man.
He got some undeniable records for real.
He has a whole
Let
album
the
that has no
sweet
skips.
Bruno
His first
Mars.
album, no skips.
Bruno
Ooh,
Mars.
that
If you
that album with
ever
Versace on the
leave,
floor.
baby,
That album.
leave
Oh
some
yeah,
morphine at my
his
But
door.
yeah, let's do a little sports talk before we wrap this thing up, man. I'm gonna just keep it full screen so we can see it. So last night the Warriors won, so they took this spot. I don't know who winning this game, right? Winning these games right here, but Rockets versus Warriors. I feel like the Warriors gonna take that. I feel like the Lakers are gonna win this, so I could see the Lakers versus the Warriors, man. What you think, Arcane?
Lakers versus Warriors. So first thing I want to point out, I want to give a shout out to the Warriors. So of the 77 years that the NBA has existed, it's only been 2 times that a 7th seed or an 8th seed has been ranked the favorite over the number 1 seed or number 2 seed. So the Warriors are ranked of the favorite over the Houston Rockets, and that's only the second time that's ever happened in 77 years because of the greatness of Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. Now, the Warriors definitely do not have enough firepower to beat the Lakers.
Okay, so you got the Lakers here. I think okay.
I don't think
Nuggets should beat the
OKC
Clippers.
personally, and I do not think OKC or the Cavs, either one of them will not make it to the finals. Neither one.
Okay.
Neither one, number 1 seed
So-
will make it.
So who you got? OKC versus Denver.
Okay, see.
That's tough. OKC.
OKC, Jalen.
OKC.
Okay, so then it would be OKC
Interesting.
versus the Lakers. Who you
Lakers. I think Lakers. Will,
OKC.
I think
It's
I
that
think it'll be a
year.
long one.
got? It might be that year.
you think so? Huh.
That's what everybody say, but I mean they showed us the same thing last year, And then when they went up against Luka, they got took out. Last year they went up against Luka and Kyrie, and they just fell under pressure and just
Actually,
got took
last year it
all the
wasn't
way
even
out.
Luca. It was Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, just took them out. That's what I
He took
mean.
about
They just
himself.
not ready. I don't think they're ready. I think they need a bigger shot. And over on the east side, I don't think the Cavs is going either. The Cavs not making that out of the second round.
Okay. Yeah, so we know the Cavs will win. The Bucks probably. Cavs versus Bucks though. Who you got?
Bucks.
Bucks. Okay.
Yeah,
And then
I
here,
agree with that.
No, I think my Heat
The-
may surprise the Cavs when we beat the Hawks, though. So it may be. I would say it's probably gonna be the Heats in the Bucks, and or the Heat in the book, and then probably.
I think at the
gonna have-
end we gonna have them Celtics versus the Bucks for the championship, the Eastern Conference championship.
okay. And who wins that? The Celtics.
I think the Celtics will get them.
So you're expecting a Lakers Celtics championship?
Damn. Yeah, you're right.
Celtics
I
ain't
can
See,
gonna-
Shaq, we gonna get you in sports, bro. You gonna watch this with us, man. You gotta watch these games with us.
It's probably
I want-
gonna be
want some.
OKC and the Bucks probably. If it ain't the Bucks, it's probably gonna be the Cavs. I don't see
Okay.
the Celtics making it out again.
I'm gonna go OKC Celtics.
OKC
Okay.
not locked though.
Okay, so just the Heat won. They beat the Chicago Bulls and bounced them out. Now, they won by one. They beat. Oh no, they tore them up. Okay, now Dallas and Sacramento is playing right now. Who do y'all think gonna get that one?
Sacramento.
Sacramento?
Tough
Sacramento.
to say, man.
Because when I did watch sports pretty consistently, it was the Mavs. It's always the Mavs when I do watch, and they ain't playing.
That's Willie's team. So you and Willie are Mavs fans, okay? You know, we go to Mavs playoff games every year that they go.
Oh yeah.
A and Willie, yeah.
Oh well, y'all get to save that money this year.
Oh, Willie went to the championship game last year. He dropped like 4 bands on a ticket. Yeah, man. And just to
That's
see
crazy.
them, they won, but they end up losing altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been nice if they would have won. That would have been a money well spent. It still would.
I
You
was
still had a good time.
glad JT and JB got their first rings.
Yeah. Same thing
But-
with the Super Bowl, man. If anybody could have beat us, I'm glad it was them Eagles, man. I'm glad Jalen got him one. You know,
Me too.
Me too.
If
Somebody
anybody
like-
was gonna beat Pat, I'm glad it was Jalen.
yeah,
Same.
Saquon, all them boys like that. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I'm glad them boys got one, man.
Yeah.
Me too.
You know, you just feel like that about some teams. You know.
Yeah.
So I
But
feel about the
yeah, so
Cowboys.
so as far as the sports thing, Shaq, what's your favorite sport? Baseball?
Cricket.
If I had to choose one, man, it'd probably be basketball. If I had to choose a sport, I don't really be.
Cricket.
I like cricket.
Yeah, I thought you liked cricket.
What? No, bro. No, that ain't cricket.
I
Yeah.
don't know what he just did. He just did a rowing move.
I don't know what that is. No,
Oh, you don't hit it underhanded in cricket. You hit it overhanded.
I don't think Jay
That's how they pitch it.
know
to-
what cricket is.
No, that's how they
What's-
pitch it. Like you have bowlers, like you play against the bowlers, and the bowlers try to hit these little things behind like the person who bats. So like you throwing it like you bowl like that because you're trying to throw it down and hit the things up behind. You gotta watch some
Oh,
cricket,
nice.
man. My South African man.
I said I ain't never heard no cricket before, man. I mean,
So-
I've never watched a cricket game. I guess.
I did not. I haven't either. I found that out today. It's very interesting. It's like baseball mixed with I don't know something else.
Like kickball?
Ain't
I remember him
kickball.
talking about it on the Cosby Show.
It's like
Cricket
bowling too, because if you knock down
sports.
pins, you can get points. But I don't know.
Oh,
You
bro, I was
see?
thinking about something different.
I
I thought
know, me
cricket was.
too. That thing
I
with the
thought
little.
cricket was the thing with the little. I thought it was the thing with the mallet. You know, you got the mallet,
That's
and then you
croquet.
like have
That's
a
Hold
croquet you
on.
talking about.
Oh,
croquet.
I don't know.
There's they're spelled the same. They're spelled close, similarly. You know, they both start with a C. But no, I didn't know that, man. Okay, cool. No, cricket. I can mess with cricket. That looks like fun, man. That looks
I said the same thing.
like wiffle ball or something, man. Like
Yeah.
I could do that.
I said the same thing. I said I'm about to play me some cricket.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that one. But no, Archie, to answer your question, man. Basketball is probably my favorite thing, man. If I were to choose a sport to watch, it would be basketball.
I like the way they
Oh
dribble
yeah,
that.
the White House raised tariffs 245% to figure some Chinese products causing confusion. So, yeah. Wait a minute, did he just clap out?
Nah, I think it just
I
I
just
read that totally wrong. It says White House's 245% tariff figure for some Chinese products causes confusion. I need glasses. So, yeah, so to get out of here, do y'all think this tariff war is going to go on any longer?
yeah.
China got to come to the table eventually.
Okay. So, do y'all think this tariff war will be net good or net bad? Or do y'all think that we're just going to end up not trading with China? None of the stuff is going to say made in China anymore? Because I recently just saw Shein, or however you say it. They just sent
Mhm.
out a message to all the customers saying, hey, look, we got a price adjustment coming due to all the tariffs.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, surprise. I think what's gonna, yeah, I think it is gonna change some stuff. I think it's gonna be net bad for the consumer. I don't think it's gonna affect companies as much as people might think because they're just gonna pass it on. Especially with the I can't remember exactly what the term for it is, but they're now gonna start tariffing packages under $800 now, which is where those fast fashion companies were really getting their their value to the consumer because like we can get it to you super cheap because we have super low overhead. But now they're going to start taxing those. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a real term. Congress passed a law like years ago about it, which is why they've been able to fly on the radar for so long with it. But
Yeah, yeah, I
no
heard
more.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it'll be that bad, bro. Honestly. But I do
Yeah,
think that we're also not going to be much change. So I think I want to say that I think what's going to happen is they're both going to come to the table and we're all going to be basically here in the same situation, but just higher prices for
Yeah, I think it's
for
gonna
all of
be a
us.
watch. I think it's gonna be a watch eventually. Like,
Yeah.
really nothing gonna happen out of it. It'll kind of be like another, like minuscule Cold War or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And they'll kind of just
Hmm.
come back to status quo. Because I mean, he already backtracked when he realized, oh wait, we need them for cell phones and laptops and stuff like that. Let's just take that out of there. So I
Yeah.
don't see. I
What
don't,
what wasn't on his bingo card was him, which is always something you should have been thinking about. Like he took a gamble and like in China was like, yeah, well, we're just not gonna allow any of our companies to do business with y'all anymore. And like that was always a risk that was always there. But they probably didn't think it was gonna happen because why would you hurt your economy like that? But
I want to know
yeah.
China
who
don't
they
care.
selling to though. I do want to know who they selling to, if, because I don't want to say, the britches are big, and they don't care. It's like they don't care, and I just wonder, hey, who is sustaining y'all? If y'all, who? who are y'all sending these products to if it ain't to, pretty much the most capitalistic country in the world?
Probably Europe.
I
Europe
read
is
that
really
they
rocking with the
aren't
United
sending
States.
us rare earth metals anymore. And I heard that we really won't start seeing price increases until like June, because a lot of countries, a lot of companies in America bought in bulk to try to like get ahead of the tariffs. So
Which is smart.
hopefully something can get resolved before they really start hitting.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
they
get
really follow us because the UK's Supreme Court, they kind of like following Trump too because they just ruled that trans women will not be legally identified as women, following the same thing that Trump just did.
Yeah.
So
Another interesting take that I heard is like
psychology, man.
when Trump put those tariffs on everybody, 30, 40, and 50%, and now everybody's down to just 10%, and people are happy. And I heard this dude say, if you would have told me 2 weeks ago that people would be happy with 10% tariffs across the board, I would have said you joking. But that's what it is now.
So that was the play the whole
Psychological
time.
warfare, man.
See, he got.
Psychological warfare.
See, that's what it take. Rascal sense is what Mama used to call it. Rascal sense. That get the job done. When Joe Biden said he's got the morals of an alley cat. Look, bro, you gotta have the morals of an alley cat sometimes. Hey, bro, I get a lot of things done having the morals of an alley cat, says Donald Trump.
Hey, it's definitely not moral, man. But like,
Yeah.
I think there's some benefit. I mean, just like I was saying, I texted the other day, man. Like, I think there's a psychological factor here at play that like really needs to be studied. But anyway, that's a topic for a whole nother podcast, man. We
I
can
Yeah,
like that though.
like you said, I want to parking lot this because I want to compare Trump's presidency and just the things that he's been able to do. Because apparently, even though nobody likes this stuff, apparently, people are still letting him do it and still agreeing to do it. You know what I'm saying? He checks and balances. These people are still allowing him, his team, the people around him are still allowing him to do these things. Now, I have been combated by a lot of people when I say that Obama could have did more for a certain group of people when he was in office. So I want to bring this point back in a later episode. But I want to analyze the two presidencies, and I want to see if one is truly giving more of a leash than the other, or is one just more brash in the things that he wants to accomplish and things like that.
It's probably the latter.
Yeah, so how that will work is, Jay, and y'all see I'm stunning on y'all. I just made my desk stand up if y'all was wondering. Yeah, believe that. But so Jay, the difference was Obama was gridlocked. So Donald Trump has the House, the Congress, and he has the Senate right now. So anything he say, he can make it move. When Obama was in office,
Obama was in his first or second term.
no, it wasn't. Joe Biden was. Obama was not. Obama.
Obama had the House and the Senate when he first got in.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, generally, that's what happened with Obama. So his second time around, his second term, and I'm gonna have to fact check that, but his second time around, like when he was really trying to get things done, he got gridlocked up like that. Anytime
Also,
he tried
in
to do
Obama's
something.
first term, he was focused solely on like trying to make sure the company didn't go into financial like abyss. Like
he was trying to fight us out of. Yeah, he was trying to fight us because we were about to go into a depression.
Yeah, the entire global economy had collapsed.
Exactly. Yeah, and then by the end of his presidency, it was booming.
Yeah,
That was the peak
It was
to get
booming.
into the market, especially real estate.
And that's one of the trillest things he did that nobody talked about.
Yeah. Yeah. So Trump adopted like the best that the American society, the American economy had been in like 20 years. You know, ever since 2001, like, or was it 2003? 2001, America has just been gaining debt massively ever since then.
Mm-hmm.
And 2008 was when that bubble popped, and Obama kind of pulled us up out of that. So, I mean, you know, and then, you know, when we reelected him, because his first time around, he got like 70-something million votes, which was like the most ever at the time. And the second time, he only got like 65 million votes. And then, you know, them Republicans just kind of had their backlash, and then he could no longer really do anything like that, you know. So
Yeah, that's part of the reason why Trump did tariffs, because he don't need congressional approval. But I don't want to get too deep into that topic, guys. There you have it, man. The Foul Out Podcast. Any closing remarks?
yeah, Chris Brown is the Gohan of R&B. Donald Trump's rascal sense, back alley rascal sense, is working on world leaders. And always be ready and be a prisoner of circumstance. No. Be a what is it? Whatever. Don't be a victim of circumstance. Be an aggressor of circumstance. Okay? Because one guy, his name is Austin Metcalf, and he dead. One guy named Cameron, and he coming home real soon. So I mean Karmelo, and he coming home real soon. So yeah,
You gonna have a bunch of edits.
All right, guys. Well, there you have it, man. Appreciate y'all for joining us. It's the Foul Out Podcast. We got 5 fouls, and we about to foul out.